Hi guys, today I thought I would go over our notes that I would have done with you in class if we weren't on distance learning. And this might help you just figure out how to do multiplying and dividing with rational expressions maybe faster because you're used to how I say things compared to the new thing called Edmentum. Okay, so the first thing that we're talking about here is rational, and that means fractions. That's all that means, okay? And when we're going to simplify a rational expression, the first thing we want to do would be to factor and then cancel. Okay? So I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So for this first example, example 1, I'm looking at x squared minus 4x minus 12, and I want to factor that. So I'm going to make my big X, and I'm going to say a times c, which is 1, times negative 12 is negative 12, and then I'm going to put that on the top, and then I'm going to put minus 4, which is the b, down below, and then I have to ask myself, what are two factors of negative 12? So what are two numbers that multiply to give you negative 12 and add up to give you negative 4? Well, the only ways to multiply to get negative 12 would be 1 and 12, with one of them being negative, 2 and 6, with one of them being negative, and 3 and 4. So to get a negative 4, we would have to have the negative 6 and the positive 2. So I'm going to put that in here like that. And now because this a, the lead coefficient, is 1, we can go right to our factoring using these guys right in here. So we're going to have x minus 6 times x plus 2. That is, we're done factoring on top. Okay? Now let's go down here, and these, the denominator is super easy to factor because it's two perfect squares separated by a minus sign. So that's going to be, remember, set yourself up. There's no middle x term, so that means one sign has to be positive, one sign has to be negative, and then the square root of x squared is x, so we put that in the first position, and the square root of 4 is 2, so we put that in the second position. Now we look at it and we say, does anything in the numerator cancel out anything in the denominator? And yes, let me switch colors. These two things cancel out, so that means, switch back, our final answer is x minus 6 over x minus 2. Now, what you really never want to do, promise me you'll never do it, is that you'll never cancel those out because you can't. And you'll not make that a 3 because you can't either. That's wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay, that's just not how math works. Alright, so this is our final answer. We'll leave it just like that, and that makes us super happy, right? Alright, I'll do the next example on another video. Actually, I'm just going to continue right on here because I can go like this and get rid of all of our notes. Yay! Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing where we're going to factor first. So I'm looking at my top polynomial, also known as a trinomial, because there's 3 terms, and I'm going to say to myself, what is 1 times negative 15? And that's negative 15. That goes up here. And then I look at my b term, and that's negative 2. So now I have to say to myself, what are the two numbers that multiply to give you 15, but add up to give you negative 2? And hopefully your brains are popping with a negative 5 and positive 3. So that means in order to factor that numerator, it would be x minus 5. And that didn't come out so great. Let me go back. You know how I am with the pen. And then x plus 3. Cool. The top is factored. Now look at the bottom. That's another one of those that makes us super happy because it's the difference of two perfect squares. So let's set ourselves up. X squared. What times itself gives you x squared? Well, that would be x and x. We have no middle x terms, so we have to have one positive and one negative. And then what times itself gives you 9? That is 3. Cool. So now what do you see? You see that x divided x plus 3 and x plus 3, we have 1 each on the top. That means we can cancel those out. So our final answer is going to be x minus 5 over x minus 3, and you leave it there. You do not be tempted to cancel that out because that would be wrong. And that would make us do an unhappy face, which we don't ever want to do because we want to always be right. Correct? Yeah. Alright, so now that's the correct answer, so yay! Alright, have fun with these. See ya!